The following is a weekly weather briefing from the National Weather Service in Spokane. I'm meteorologist John Fox. Taking a look at the week ahead, we are looking from today through Wednesday a drying and warming trend due to a building upper level ridge of high pressure. For the Thursday and Friday period, the ridge begins to break down. That'll bring slightly cooler and locally breezy conditions, as well as a small chance of mountain showers on Friday. For Saturday and Sunday, it looks like we're going to turn to a much cooler weather pattern with a chance of showers or thunderstorms for all locations in the inland northwest. Before we look at the weather, though, for the upcoming week, let's take a look at the past week, and in fact the past 30 days. And you'll see that all the rain that we saw last week has now brought much of the Cascades and west central portions of Washington or western Columbia Basin. It's brought them to about 2 to 4 times the normal amount of precipitation for that time period, running from essentially July 26th to August 24th. So all these areas in purple are the locations that saw the heaviest amounts of precipitation. Also, there were some heavier amounts that also occurred over the northeast corner of Washington and the North Idaho Panhandle. So that was the weather over the past 4 weeks or so. Now moving ahead. The storm track, or the jet stream, has retreated into British Columbia and central Alberta, and it's going to remain there for the next few days. What that means is we're going to see dry weather here in the inland northwest. Conditions will warm, they'll also dry. As far as high temperatures go, we're looking at our warmest conditions in over a week, with highs in the mid-80s and 90s for most valley locations. By the time we get to Thursday and Friday, that ridge of high pressure shifts off to our east. We start to see a trough of low pressure then move into the eastern Pacific. That turns our flow more southwesterly, and what that'll do is bring significant cooling to locations to the west of the Cascades and slight cooling to the east of the Cascades. When we see things cool west of the Cascades in a rapid manner, we can expect to see some winds develop, especially in the immediate lee of the Cascades, so places like the Kittitas Valley, Wenatchee area. Western Columbia Basin could see some breezy conditions beginning Thursday and into Friday. There'll also be a small chance of mountain showers near the Cascades on Friday. By the weekend, the storm track or jet stream takes a large dip to the south. That puts all of Washington State and northern Idaho on the cool and unstable side of the jet. What that means is we can expect significant cooling in temperatures. We're only looking at highs in the 70s. We're also looking at a good chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially over the mountains and the North Idaho Panhandle. Just how much precipitation we see, though, remains in question, and it all depends on how much moisture we can draw out of the eastern Pacific. This low pressure system right here represents a decaying hurricane or decaying tropical system, and there's a chance we could draw some of the moisture from that system northward into Washington State. Some models show that we could do it, other models show that we won't. The question is, will we be able to do it? If we are able to do it, we're looking at the potential for some significant precipitation amounts. Locations across north central and northeast Washington could see anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch of precipitation this weekend. Little lighter amounts here in the Clearwater Mountains, and near the Cascades, a little bit heavier amounts. Meanwhile, across the Columbia Basin and into the Spokane area, precipitation amounts look like they'd be significantly less than what we would see elsewhere across the inland northwest. If we don't tap into that subtropical moisture, precipitation amounts will likely be much lower than the previous picture had shown. As you see here, precipitation amounts generally ranging from 1/100 of an inch to 1/10 of an inch across the northern mountains, and across the Columbia Basin, Spokane area, Palouse and Lewiston area, almost no precipitation is expected. So taking a look at the 7-day period beginning today and continuing through next Monday, we expect to see gradual warming trend through Wednesday or Thursday. Temperatures quite a bit above normal. As you can see here, the normal line is the red dotted line. But once we get to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, those temperatures start to plunge to below normal conditions by the time we get to the weekend. Relative humidity values will be slowly climbing once we get to Thursday and beyond. We're also looking at breezy conditions, especially for the weekend here near the Cascades. This 7-day temperature trace and relative humidity trace is for Wenatchee. The 8 to 14-day outlook beginning next week and continuing to the end of the week calls for better than normal chances of below normal temperatures and better than normal chances of below normal precipitation. So, in summary, today through Wednesday, we're looking for drying and warming conditions. Thursday and Friday, ridge begins to break down. We'll see cooler and locally breezy conditions. For Saturday and Sunday, confidence is high we'll see cooling temperatures. However, the rainfall potential at this point remains rather uncertain. For the latest forecast, please check our website as listed here, or our Facebook page, our Twitter page, or you can always watch the latest videos on YouTube. Thank you for attending this week's briefing. We'll talk to you next week.